into the White House.
Elections.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Had your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid, took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was banging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause
you ain't from the hood.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So, you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Gotta throw away in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, and Swahili, I'm a damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fire Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So, you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch your fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
You ain't from the hood.
Shout out to Randy K for the donation and the moon rocks that I'm smoking on right now. Randy K, thank you for the dollars and the donations and the bud. Huh? Also, shout out to Maisha Greenwood, Jeffrey Yachts, my boy Tom. I don't know if he woke this morning right now. And Beth Roberts, always Beth Roberts, executive producer. What's up in the house today? Pause this son of a bitch. What's up? Now, I decided to make this video because you have Mr. Joe Biden, right? Mr. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and all these other folks been blaming inflation on everything, right? First it was Vladimir Putin, right? Then it was transitory. Then it was Corona. Then it was COVID. Then it was the lockdown. Then it was supply chain. Then it was Vladimir Putin. Then it was the meat market. Then it was the oil companies. Now they just said, fuck it. We feel your pain. No resolution. We feel your pain, right? That's all they got to say now. Oh, it's gas at the pump. We feel your pain. Nothing else. They can't help you with shit, but they want you to understand. We feel your pain. They ain't paying high. They ain't even paying for gas. They not suffering from the inflation, not a bit, but they want to say they feel your pain. They millionaires, multi-millionaires. They get donations and free gas and free ride and free security and free food, right? But they want to let you know they feel your pain. Now, I want to know what happened to all these damn celebrities, right, that was talking all that shit for Joe Biden. Oh, we can't wait till Joe Biden get in office. Joe Biden going to change America. Joe Biden going to do this. Joe Biden going to look out for this. Joe Biden going to look out for them. Joe Biden is going to change the world. Joe Biden is going to bring the country back together. Joe Biden ain't done shit. Now, they ask these celebrities, what have Joe Biden done for you lately, right? What have Joe done for you? And the celebrities cannot answer it.
I wanted to ask you about, how Hollywood, they help elect Biden. I mean, they help propel him into the White House.
Elections matter.
Are you personally you approve of the job he's doing?
Stamina, physically and mentally, do you think to continue on even after 2024?
Are you satisfied?
It's a complicated question.
It's not complicated. Are you happy with Joe Biden's job or not? How can you be happy? Oil up, gas up, rent up, supplies up. The feds had to come in and set another third of a decimal, whatever, to boost up the Fed tax rate or whatever, loan rate or whatever, right? Everything is fucking going up. We had war. How can you be satisfied? What have Joe Biden done to satisfy America? I'm not talking about the rich. I'm talking about the everyday person that's been struggling. What have Joe Biden done for them? Right? Like Kamala say, election have consequences.
And when folks vote, they order what they want.
And this is what you want. And this is what you got coming out of the words of Kamala Harris' mouth.
And in this case, they got what they asked for.
There are certain things I'm satisfied with, other things I'm not as satisfied with.
Like what you're not satisfied with, right? What are you satisfied with Joe Biden? What can anybody say? Are you satisfied with the war? Huh? Are you satisfied with the economy? Are you satisfied with the border? Are you satisfied with all the rhetoric going on about racism? Are you happy about gun rights? Huh? What is you happy about that Joe Biden has done? I need to ask that 33% or that 29% that approve of Joe Biden. What have he fucking done if you're not a millionaire?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States.
But I'm certainly glad that he won.
I went off script a little bit.
Huh? You know you didn't. You was right on script. You got exactly what you voted for. To fuck up the country. That's why people begging for the Republicans to come back. Hurry up, November, and get here. It can't come fast enough to get these damn Democrats up out of here. Hurry up.
I do respect the man. I think he is an intelligent, admirable person with a ton of experience.
You respect the man. He's an admirable person with a ton of experience. That's all he got. Because he damn sure ain't got no success. Name something Joe Biden was successful at, including raising his damn kid. Huh? Name one thing. And we know Joe Biden ain't got the energy. You see this bitch on here. Oh, that's hard to keep up with Joe Biden. Joe Biden has got lots of energy. He's going to make it to... This nigga ain't done an interview in 4 months. He ain't done a press conference in I don't know when. He ain't talked to the media. How in the fuck he got all this energy, but he ain't got time to talk to the American people? But he got all this energy.
I can't even keep up with it. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California.
And it's certainly better than what the alternative was. And
it's certainly better than Donald Trump. That's what he believed in. What we got right now is better than what we had 4 years ago. So he's in a better position right now. Him speaking. He's in a better position right now than he was 4 years ago. Him speaking. He can't speak for me.
I want him to keep doing as good of a job as he can.
What good of a job as he can? What good of a job is he doing? I want him to keep doing as good of a job as he can. What good of a job is he doing? There's only one a group of people that he's doing a tremendous job for.
You know?
When it comes to the areas of improvement, what would you like to see him do better heading into the midterms? It's a big time for the Democratic Party.
Cancel student debt and keep an eye on, for me, I'm part of the LGBTQ community.
The only people that have been winning under Joe Biden is the LGBT community, right? He just signed a bill yesterday for the LGBT community, right? Fuck looking out for the country, right? Fuck looking out for oil prices. Fuck looking out for food prices. Fuck looking out for food, chain supply, baby formula, all that. Joe Biden made time. He made damn sure he took out time in his day to write a bill against discrimination against gay people. He made sure that to make sure he wanted the gay people to know we got your back. All the shit going on in the world, he gonna take the time to worry about some gay shit. Nothing, nobody in America should be worried about, right? We worried about some gay shit.
Just look at what happened in Idaho last weekend.
Oh, let me turn this up. Let me turn this up. He worried about some gay shit. Oops. He worried about some gay shit. Let me turn this up. Let me turn this up a little bit so we can hear Mr. Joe Biden. So we can hear Mr. Joe Biden.
When it comes
A little louder, a little louder. A little louder.
to the areas of improvement, what would you like to see him do better heading into the midterms? It's a big.
That's too damn loud. That's too damn loud. That's too fucking loud. Oh, that's too loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. That's too loud. I hurt my ears. There we go. That should be it right there.
Big time for the Democratic.
Yeah, right there. Boom. Joe Biden got time for gay shit, not American shit.
Cancel student debt and keep an eye on, for me, I'm part of the LGBTQ community.
Just look at what happened in Idaho last weekend. 31 white supremacists stopped just before they reached the Pride celebration, where they apparently planned to unleash violence on people gathering peacefully in a show of their pride.
There's a lot of awful, dangerous, cruel shit happening in Florida and all over the country.
I'm grateful for the swift response of law enforcement, and they responded. They responded.
They're attacking young queer people, especially young trans people, not just in Florida. There's a wave of anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans legislation happening all over the country.
When the gay people speak out, Joe Biden listen. Right? When the average American speak out and they hurting, he don't listen. When black people speaking out in his administration, he not listening. When black people speaking out in the community about crime and violence and gang violence, he not listening. Right? When parents speak out about their kids being taught critical race theory, he not listening. Right? When parents say they can't put food on the table for their kids, he not listening. But when the gay people speak out, when something happened to the gay community, he listen and he act.
Violent attacks on the community, including ongoing attacks on transgender women of color, make our nation less safe because the attacks are more than ever last year, and they're on pace again this year.
We can't let it go. It's a very dangerous path.
They're disgusting, and they have to stop. Right now, there are young people sitting in their bedroom, doors closed, silent, scrolling through social media, staring at the ceiling, wondering if they'll ever be loved.
I'm up in there in the room playing with myself, looking through social media, wondering, am I ever going to be loved? That's a fucked up life. Well, maybe he should love himself first. Why you got to look for love other places? Ain't you supposed to love yourself first, right? Why you got to look for love and acceptance from other people, right? Ain't that part of love? Instead of forcing other people to love them and forcing other people to accept them, why don't you teach them to love their damn self? They run around miserable and shit because of decisions they made. Not because of what the world made, because of the decision they made. They decided to change their sex. They decided to change their gender. They decided to change their pronoun. And when somebody don't respect it, they miserable. Right? They want to leave their happiness in the hands of other people. And that's wrong. I'm not responsible for anyone's happiness but mine. And the people that watch my YouTube, I am responsible for them motherfuckers laughing every day. Right? That's why I make these videos, because I am responsible for these jokes. Right? But you can't be responsible for anybody else's happiness. And if you want to make me happy right now, you can be like Randy K and send me a donation. And that will make me very happy. More happy than a transsexual being accepted by the KKK. If you send me a donation, I will be happier than a transgender with a bag full of dicks. It depends, or a bag full of pussies. It depends on which one they want, right? I will be that happy as a gay man, as Don Lemon, with a bag full of dicks. If you send me a donation, that right. But Joe Biden take the time out to talk to the transgender community because he wants them to feel accepted. He wants them to know we got your back. What about us, Joe? What about the straight people? I don't get no damn rights as a straight black man.
Ever marry.
If we let them get away with it, they will ruin the lives of young LGBTQ people whose lives are already so vulnerable.
Thanks to Slaphead, my life is not vulnerable. Love the short clips, funny stuff. Appreciate all the work. Hey, I'm gonna start putting for yours. I got plenty of them short clips, right? I be getting them short clips all the time, right? I'm start for some people who special on my Patreon. I'm gonna start putting them short clips up starting tomorrow on the Patreon to give the supporters who've been on our Patreon for a long time. I'm gonna start putting videos of that of my street. My street sightings and shit like that. I catch a lot of that shit. Just driving down the street, just go out the house, you see all kind of shit, right? Just 10 minutes away, I can go record some shit every day. I had some shit that I couldn't record. I had a Haitian the same day, right? Getting arrested the same fucking minute, getting arrested, but for somehow the video slowed down and I couldn't catch up with the speed. But it's gonna be some funny shit. Thanks for the donation, Slaphead. It's because of people like Slaphead is the reason I do this shit. Huh? Good looking out.
We owe so many people. My message to all the young people.
All the gay young people, not all the young people. You see how I try to say my message to all the young people. No, you're not talking to all the young people. You're not talking to the straight kids. You're not telling them you got their back. To all the young people. Then they're gonna try to put it on some gay shit.
Just be you. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood.
All the young people, you are hurt. All the young people is not hurt. All the young people is not misunderstood. It's some young people who have some loving parents know that they are a boy. It's some loving parents, right, that taught their kids they are a girl, right? And they are loved, right? They don't feel no pain. And it's not up to us, right? It's not even up to you, Joe Biden, to love these kids. It's up to their parents and their motherfucking self. They got to get love for within their home first. They got to get love for within themselves first. They can't come out and expect to change and then they miserable, right? I thought the change was supposed to make them happy. How to change make them miserable, and then it's up to us to make them happy. They miserable. They get the change. Then they're happy. Then people don't accept them. Then they miserable. Then when people accept them, I guess they want to be happy again. What the fuck is it? What kind of emotional roller coaster is this? It's up to them. It's not up to us. How do they happiness lies in the hands of America? We have your back. No, we feel your pain.
You do belong. And I want you to know that as your president, all of us on this stage have your back.
So we have to keep our eyes on that.
That is not a question that we should be even asking. Just look at the work that he does.
While our
Look at the work that he does, right? Now, they don't look at the work that he does. What work? What work has he done on the economy? What work has he done on the gas? What work has he done on the food? What work has he done on racism? What work have he done on anything? The border. Well, just look at the work he done. What work, bitch? He ain't done no work. Nikki Miller Harris getting on there talking the same shit. We have done a tremendous job. What tremendous job, bitch?
economy has recovered faster than anyone thought possible. It is also a fact, as we all are living and know, that supply has struggled to keep up with the demand for new goods and products. Right?
So it's a supply chain. America is doing tremendous. America is doing extraordinary. Right? But it's a supply chain issue. Remember that? The inflation isn't because of the supply chain. Deflation is because America is doing so damn good. We buying so much shit that it's a shortage and they can't keep up with the supply chains. Well, make more supplies. Make more chains. Right? Hire more people. Get more products. It's a way that you can supply the supply chain. It's a way. But they want to tell you the reason why is because of the high demand. People not buying that much shit. People ain't got no money. I don't think people got no money like they say. They say the economy is booming. Ain't nobody buying no new cars. Right? People taking trips, but they're not taking trips like they used to. People not going on vacations. People not just going shopping. You have a hard time putting gas and food in your house. You have no extra money to do the shit you were doing. So when you talk about the economy, it's exploding with what? Gas and food? And supplies? As far as building houses and shit? Yes. Because it's a shortage on it. But don't make it seem like it's a demand, like people that's going out and buying cars and clothes and jewelries and, because if that, and laptops, if that's the case, why are all these Fortune 500 motherfuckers losing money and they cutting 10% of their employees? If the economy is doing so fucking great, people are getting fired, people are getting laid off. But the economy is doing so great.
Or maybe it's always been this way. I mean, here in LA, a small fraction of people voted in the primary yesterday, and then everybody wants to complain about everything.
Then everybody wants to complain. You see how he's buttering them up? Like here in LA, right? Here in LA, right? Everybody don't want to vote, but they want to complain about everything. They didn't want to vote for the local election. I don't know why people don't vote in LA, right? Because people in LA are not educated on they are supposed to vote, right? Because I'm pretty sure if people was educated right on voting and educated on the candidates, I'm pretty sure it would be a lot more Republicans in these offices in California. But a lot of local races, right, they already got who they gonna pick. Maxine Waters already got her district. What you call that nigga? Adam Schiff already got his district. Nancy Pelosi already got her district. Right? These are people that are locked in. These are people we need to change. But all these local people are ran by local people. And LA alone, most of the local politicians are Hispanic. Except Maxine Waters. Most of the local, like 90% of the local LA politicians, local councilmen and stuff like that are Hispanic. Some of them Asian. Because that's the community over here. It's Hispanic and Asian. A couple of black sprinkled here and there. Right? But he's talking about this is always going on. LA has always been separated. Rich, poor, races, colors, gangs. It's always been separated. Class.
20 million Americans had lost their jobs on the last guy.
And it's just
I don't want to blame on how I don't want to talk about how many people lost their job under me. Let's talk about the last guy. 20 million people lost their job under the last guy. Well, how many people lost their job under you, Joe Biden? He don't want to talk about that. He want to blame the last administration for his problems.
It's enough already, and I think you need to start yelling at people is really what I think.
Well, he yelled at people a lot. When Joe get mad and he want to prove a point and he mad at somebody for not getting his way, Joe get angry.
The idea, how quickly we forget. People were hurting. Remember those long lines of cars stretching miles back waiting for just a box of food to be put back in their trunk? It wasn't just poor folk. It was working class folks and middle class folks. A lot of pretty nice cars in those lines. And what did the MAGA crowd want to do? Forget it. Forget it. God, this is the United States of America. In fact, so many Americans lost their jobs that my predecessor became just the second president in history to leave office with fewer jobs in America than when he took office.
See, they only use the Wuhan to their advantage, right? When Donald Trump was told by Dr. Versace and everybody to shut down the economy, right? That was best for the country. He done it, right? People lost jobs, right? People lost jobs. Shit was shut down, right? It was out of Donald Trump's hands, right? People lost jobs everywhere, all over the world, right? Because of this so-called, whatchamacallit, I don't want to say the name, right? People lost jobs. But they want to blame all that on Donald Trump. But under them, when inflation goes up and this goes up and this, it's this fault. It's because of the Wuhan. It's because of China. It's because of the Wuhan thing, right? But when Donald Trump And the jobs were lost under the Wuhan, right? Because all the things that was put in place, right? When people had to actually lose their jobs and stuff like that, right? Oh, look at him. They didn't blame it on Wuhan then, right? But because their numbers are bad, oh, it's the Wuhan. If we coming out of the Wuhan, the worst things this, the worst thing. Oh, you can use Wuhan, but Donald Trump can't. All the jobs lost, all the economy was shut down, and all this. But all this was because of the Wuhan. All of it. But he don't get credit for that. It doesn't apply for Donald Trump. He's supposed to keep the jobs. He's supposed to keep the numbers up. He's supposed to keep the economy running. He's supposed to do all of that. He's supposed to keep the flights going. He's supposed to keep the production. He's supposed to keep all of that under him. But under you, you're not responsible because of the Wuhan. Think about it.
President Biden has said that Americans will feel some pain for the sake of defending freedom and liberty, but there does seem to be no end game in sight. How long should Americans expect? How long should we be bracing for?
Bracing for Buffalo Soldier. That was a funny ass video. I wish I could find it. That was on my other channel. They erased all my shit on here, on the computer, and all my videos. I wish I could find that Buffalo Soldier. Good looking out on the donation, Buffalo Soldier. I wish I could find it. I don't have to try to make another one. I have to try to find that again. That shit was funny, updated.
This really sort of historic inflation and some unprecedented gas prices.
Gas, housing, inflation is through the roof. How did this happen? Biden said his spending plan would save America.
The American Rescue Plan is working.
The American Rescue Plan is working. Remember that? The American Rescue Plan is working. We're flooding the market with money. We're overheating the economy. So it's working. I guess it was working.
Biden said this money would go towards saving jobs, opening schools, and fighting the pandemic. So why are Americans worse off?
If it's working, how in the hell is a plan working and we worse off? That's a good damn question. Have you ever asked yourself that? How is America worse off and your rescue plan was working? If it's working, this is the result you intended to get, to cripple America. The Democrats are evil. Kamala Harris on here saying y'all got what y'all voted for. Then he said the rescue plan is working. They say inflation is good. They want you to be broke. They saying it in your face.
I don't know anybody, including Larry Summers, who's a friend of mine, who's worried about inflation.
Larry, you had quite a week, if I can put it that way, because you've been warning on this program and otherwise again and again, week after week, about inflation. And boy, this week we got it. 6.2%.
Well, why you lying on Larry Summers? Joe Biden said, I don't know anybody see inflation coming, including Larry Summers. Well, Larry Summers didn't say no shit like that. Larry Summers said inflation was coming. Why you lying on Larry Summers, Joe Biden?
That on the headline number on CPI, shocking an awful lot of people. I guess I start out with, why did you get it right? And so many economists, including the Federal Reserve and for that matter the White House, why did they get it wrong?
We're changing people's lives.
I think the right question is whether this package would overheat the economy. I think if it were passed as written, it would overheat the economy.
It would overheat the economy. That's way back in the day when Larry Summers was saying that. That wasn't this January. That was last January, right, when he was warning. But Joe Biden say, I don't know anybody, right, including my friend Larry Summers, said that inflation is coming. Well, he said a long time ago. Even this bitch ignored it like, oh, I don't respect what he said, and I wasn't listening to what he said. Okay, you didn't listen to what he said, bitch. Now we're in inflation.
I wouldn't say we agreed with them then, and we don't agree with them now.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending.
I would note that as it relates to actions like the American Rescue Plan, the alternative to not putting in place and advocating for the American Rescue Plan would have been the economy continuing to spiral, right?
The problem is Republicans in Congress are doing everything they can to stop my plans to bring down costs on ordinary families.
Now this nigga say the Republicans is doing everything they can. First it was Vladimir Putin. Now the Republicans. What bill have the Republicans stopped from you bringing down the gas or the price of food or the energy costs or anything? What? He banned fracking. He the one put a war on fossil fuels, right? He stopped pipelines, right? Shut down all kind of held all kind of restrictions for the fucking supply chain line, right? For not to be ran proper, right? But he want to say the Republicans are doing everything they can to stop me from passing legislation to lower food prices and the price on the Americans. This nigga is blaming everybody. I don't believe this shit come out of his mouth. I need to rewind that shit one more time because that shit was super. I don't know what the fuck. It's the Republicans. It's a problem. Problem is I wanna bring down the price on the everyday American family, but the Republicans won't let me do it. This nigga is genius. This nigga is genius.
The problem is, Republicans in Congress are doing everything they can to stop my plans to bring down the cost of minority.
Number one, what have they stopped? And number two, what is your plan? What you gonna do? Your plan? The Republicans stopping you from sending money to Ukraine? Well, I mean, what the fuck are they trying to do? Right? They helping you send money to Ukraine, right? Because if the Republican wouldn't help send money to Ukraine like in billions of dollars, the inflation wouldn't be so fucking high. This motherfucker say the Republicans stopping my plan. What plan you got? What plan have they stopped? I haven't saw a legislation plan that's put out by Joe Biden to end the war. Nigga, is they stopping you? Is they stopping you with the meat companies? You just said the meat companies was price gouging, and you just wrote a letter to the oil companies. What the fuck the Republicans got to do with that? They trying to stop your letter? Oh, Joe Biden, you better not write that letter. This motherfucker said the Republicans is trying to stop my plan. What plan this nigga got? Somebody tell me, please. Write it down in the chat if you ever heard of a Joe Biden plan to stop the motherfucking oil. Every time he get up there, he start blaming on Vladimir Putin. The price hike is Vladimir Putin. But the Republicans are trying to stop me and my plan from lowering the price. But it's on Vladimir Putin, the oil companies, the meat companies. The motherfuckers don't want to produce, but the Republicans want to stop my plan.
Ordinary families.
We were providing assistance and relief in the form of checks to people who needed that assistance.
I believe in bipartisanship, but I have no illusions about this Republican Party, the MAGA Party.
Number one.
I have no illusion, right? They were talking about spending all that money, and Larry Summers told you that shit was going to heat up the economy, man. That shit going to heat up the economy. We were saving American families that needed money. No, they ass needed to go to work. You paying the motherfucker more to stay at home than they do to go to work. Of course you're going to have inflation. Motherfuckers getting paid to stay at home. Well, we need to get their ass money. No, they should have went to work. And the supply chain wouldn't have been so fucking short right now. It's not that we producing more, we producing the same. It just people was lacking shit because they wasn't able to buy shit during the pandemic. Shit was locked down. People didn't have no money. Then you give people money, guess what they do? Spend it. Hell, you're going to heat up the economy.
Thing that the president can do is help get under control.
You don't have to cut that out. I had to cut the C word out because I didn't want them to say the C word out. He said the thing Joe Biden can do to end inflation is take care of the Wuhan. Remember that? Remember, if you take care of the Wuhan, inflation go down. It's the Wuhan fault.
That we know is the root cause of inflation and the price increases we're seeing for.
It's Wuhan. So what is the Republicans are stopping Joe Biden plan, right? If it's on the Wuhan, what the Republicans are stopping? I'm confused. It's the Wuhan fault. But Republicans is trying to stop Joe Biden's plan to bring down the price of the economy. But it's the Wuhan fault. The price is up. I don't understand.
A range of reasons.
The second big reason for inflation It's Vladimir Putin.
Right? Now it's Vladimir Putin. It's the Wuhan, and then it's Vladimir Putin. The second reason is Vladimir Putin.
It's more expensive than it should be. We agree. That's less related to supply chain issues.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. They seem to think that the problem in America today is that working families aren't paying.
Wait, first it was on Putin. First it was on the Wuhan. Then it was on Putin. Then it was on the supply chain. She said it wasn't no supply chain. It had nothing to do with the supply chain. He said, hell yeah, it do got something to do with the supply chain. Who telling the truth? You or her? Who gonna cover who ass? Huh? Which one of y'all is lying? Is it got something to do with the supply chain or not? Okay, if it got something to do with the supply chain, what in the fuck the Republicans doing to stop the supply chain? What the fuck is the Republicans doing on your bill to stop Vladimir Putin? Because these are the three reasons. So you have to have three plans against Wuhan, Vladimir Putin, or supply chain. What have Republicans stopped to help you in any one of them to help bring the prices down on the everyday average American? Please tell me.
As the working families aren't paying enough. Since I took office, families are carrying less debt.
This motherfucker say, since I took office, families are having less debt, right? Families are having less debt. After the motherfucker say, then the motherfucker gonna say right after that, right? I'm sorry that gas is costing so much. I'm sorry that food is costing so much. But you're saving money. You in less debt. Hell yeah, because motherfuckers ain't born. Because they don't know how they're gonna pay it back. I'll get my money up front. Look. This is how, think about this, right? If you want less debt in America, what do? You flood the money to the country so people won't have to borrow. Instead of borrowing, they can actually pay for it. Instead of loans, and you know what I'm saying, or financing the shit, they can just buy this shit. Instead of financing a phone for $300, you know what I'm saying, putting $150 down and going in debt and having to pay throughout the month, they go ahead and buy the $300 phone. Fuck it. They're not in debt. You flood the country with money so people won't have to borrow, so people won't take loans, right? So people won't go in debt, so people can catch up on their bills that they about to get cut off on. I better get cut off on my cable. Let me hurry and pay that. I'm getting the $300, $400 extra a month. That's how you in debt. You flood the country with money so nobody has to borrow. Asshole. Well, under my administration, more the debt has been at its lowest. Even if that was true, I'm not even saying that is true. But if it was true, motherfucker, that's because if you flood the country with money, people do not have to borrow.
Make no mistake about it. I understand inflation is a real challenge to American families. Their average savings are up.
I will say, as we've said in here before, but we'll reiterate that, of course, we take the possibility of inflation quite seriously.
Stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously.
A recent survey from the Federal Reserve found that more Americans feel financially comfortable.
I don't know no American, unless you're an actor, a motherfucking movie star, you know what I'm saying, or a politician. I don't know nobody who say they feel more comfortable under Joe Biden with their money, right? Because every time you ask somebody at the pump, every time you ask somebody at the gas station, every time you ask somebody in the grocery store, right, they all say these prices is too fucking high. I'm spending too much money to fill my gas tank up. I'm spending too much money on this bread. I'm spending too much money on this milk. I'm spending too much money on this on these eggs. But Joe Biden say they lying.
Than any time since the survey began in 2013.
Well, I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
She doubt we're going to see an inflationary cycle, right? Why all the experts got it wrong, right? So when do we think about this? When are we going to start? When can we start believing in our experts, right? When can we start believing in Fauci? When can we start believing in Yellen? When can we start believing in Joe Biden? When can we start believing in Melly or any other by somebody in the Biden administration? When can we start believing in them? Mayorkas, right? When can we start trusting anything they say? If everything they say turn out to be a lie. Mayorkas lied about the border agents whipping Haitians, right? They got cleared, but Joe Biden still want to punish them. If we going to believe in him? Dr. Fauci lied about everything, didn't know shit about nothing. Is we supposed to believe him? Right? Everybody in your Jen Psaki quit because she got tired of defending lies. Pierre St. Paul, whatever her fucking name is, she reading off them notebooks. Kamala Harris, she you don't understand shit she's saying because she always got a word salad. Who can we trust in the Biden administration to start telling us the truth? I mean, because we haven't got the truth yet. Now they lying about inflation. We supposed to trust Powell words about how he going to raise the Fed tax up 0.3 whatever, and we supposed to believe that's going to bring down inflation? Are we going to believe him? Who are we going to believe in the Biden administration?
As we look ahead to tomorrow's inflation speech, let me ask you to look back at some of the warnings that were issued last year by Summers and Ratner and so on. In retrospect, were they right that some of the government policies were going to lead to inflation?
Look, I know you got to be frustrated. I know. I can taste it.
Don't Joe Biden sound like a vampire when he like, I can taste it? He probably talking to little kids, right? Because that sounds a little creepy. Joe Biden talking about I can taste it. Don't that sound creepy? Right?
I know. I can taste it.
Woo! That even sound more like a vampire in a motherfucking werewolf movie or something like that. The president turned into a werewolf. I know. I can taste it. Say it one more time, Joe.
I can taste it.
Woo! Don't Joe like a vampire? Don't like a vampire right here? I can taste it. Joe like a vampire right there. Ooh, Joe gonna bite into somebody's neck. Preferably a little blind kid. At 9 years or younger, I can taste it.
Groceries, the cost of groceries has gone up. The cost of gas has gone up. And as this is all happening in the context of 2 years of a pandemic.
But we're not talking about the jobs lost of a pandemic, right? But it's all happened. The pandemic was longer than 2 years. You only count the motherfucking 2 years that you was in office. The pandemic been going on for a couple of years now, girl. Where you been? For the last 2 years, you haven't been dealing with it. Donald Trump took the brunt of that shit. You dealing with the resolution, with the residues and shit, right? Donald Trump took the brunt of that shit. He handed you motherfuckers the golden key. Here, take it. Here go the ball, right at the end zone. You motherfuckers fumbled it, right? Now all you can do is feel the pain.
I understand what it feels like. I come from a family where when the price of gas or food went up, we felt it. It was a discussion at the kitchen table.
As you know, actions that have been taken to date or proposals that have been made, most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
Right, remember they were talking about that transitory? It's going to have a transitory impact. It's not going to last that long because Joe Biden can taste it. I can taste it. If you can send me a donation, I'll be able to taste it.
Is it wrong to consider inflation transitory? I mean, these price spikes seem like they're going to be with us for a while.
And by the way, talking inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down.
We have to address the fact that we got to deal with the fact that folks are paying for gas, paying for groceries, and are need solutions to it.
Wait a minute. Did you hear her explanation I understand people are paying for food, paying for gas, and we need an explanation for it. I mean, this is what you get. Do they know other countries are seeing this shit? You know China is seeing her talk. You know Russia is seeing her talk. You know all these other countries is hearing this bitch talk. And Joe Biden talk. It's not just us. It's everybody listening to these motherfuckers talk and making fun of them. All over the fucking world. What kind of explanation is this? Oh, we just have to see what it do. See what it is. And that's understandable. What the fuck does she be talking about?
We have to address the fact that we got to deal with the fact that folks are paying for gas, paying for groceries, and need solutions to it.
Deal.
Russia would love that bitch to be president. China would love that bitch to be president. Iran would love that bitch to be president. Afghanistan would love that bitch to be president. All our enemies will love that bitch to be president. Oh, somebody can't even make a complete damn sentence. Somebody can't even define what a woman is. They would love her to be president. You think they like Joe Biden? You think some shit happened under Joe Biden watch? Let Kamala Harris become president with words sounding like this and see what fucking happened if she got her hands on a fucking nuclear bomb or the torrents our safety and our well-being is dependent on her. Let her become president, see how comfortable or how safe your ass will feel against Russia and China and fucking North Korea.
Deal. You know, my dad used to say every family is a little bit of breathing room. We've built a strong economy with a strong job market. And I agree with what Chairman Powell said last week, that the number one threat is the strength, and that strength that we built is inflation. The strength we built is inflation. Right? Powell say, we doing so good that we in inflation, right? And then you got Kamala Harris coming out explaining shit, right, that nobody fucking understand what she's saying. But the world is fucking watching.
And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up.
My dad.
We gotta understand what that means. Inflation is about the price of living going up. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. Inflation is about the price of living going up.
My dad used to have an expression: family is the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Joe Biden always talking about family, right? In the time of need. Well, I understand oil because when I was younger, it was a kitchen table issue. We talk about the kitchen table, groceries issues, right? But you're not anymore. So you can't feel us. And stop lying saying you did. Your daddy had money. He keep on saying how poor he was. I'm poor old Joe Biden from old Scranton. Nigga, you was white. and you was in a race. You had advantages in your fucking home state, Joe. Your daddy was a racist part of the Klan and he owned oil, I think, a gas station or some shit like that. You had money. So stop saying you feel our pain. He always want to talk about his family and compare him to your family. Well, when I was younger, my family, when my dad taught me, when my mother taught me, when my dad was younger, when my dad always used to say, when I was walking out of the house, my mama, spread the joy. My dad used to tell me, work is a paycheck. But his daddy always telling him something. Right? He tried to make it seem like he are on our level and he can relate to it because his daddy used to tell him shit. Lying son of a bitch.
That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry.
What the fuck did she just say? What the fuck did she? What the fuck is she talking about? What is Kamala Harris talking about? Do she know? People are listening to, like, if you was a citizen of a country, right, like we are of the United States, right, or any other country, couldn't you trust this definition right here of of what she's describing as she understanding what America is going through and her changing it and doing something about it, can you accept that explanation?
That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously.
I know that.
What? It's something you got to stretch on every level, on a daily basis, right? Well, I don't even know what the fuck she just said. Then you got Joe Biden coming right back after her saying some more stupid shit, right? Other countries is watching this shit.
I know the families all across America are hurting because of inflation.
What do you say to them?
My mother used to say, out of everything bad, something good will come if you look hard enough for it.
Well, first of all, I acknowledge one must acknowledge that prices are going up.
The idea...
Wait a minute, right? This bitch said, first of all, I acknowledge what I must acknowledge. We gotta hear that shit one more time. This bitch said, first of all, I acknowledge what I acknowledge. Well, okay. Don't everybody acknowledge what they fucking acknowledge? This bitch say, I acknowledge what I acknowledge. Oh, who says this? Other countries is watching this shit. Well, first of all, I acknowledge what I acknowledge.
Well, first of all, I acknowledge one must acknowledge that prices are going up.
The idea there are 54 major corporations in America made $40 billion last year and don't pay a penny in taxes. Not a penny.
And that...
So I want to ask Joe Biden, if these people haven't been paying in all this time, and the country has been going and running better than any other country in the world, why do they got to start paying now in order to make our country become better? Why is we depending on them, the billionaires, the millionaires that already made they millions, that already somebody went through the strains and struggle, because 90% of millionaires are first time millionaires, right? 10% of it is generational wealth, right? So why is it that we're depending on these people, these businesses, these companies, right? And we never depended on them before. We depended on policies and stuff like that to make our country great. Why is we all of a sudden dependent on these countries to make our country great? We never depended on them before, right? I have never heard of anybody saying the only reason why we can how we can make our country better is if we tax these group of people. That's the only way the country is going to be better. I never heard nobody run on that. I never heard nobody say that, and I don't believe that shit. And that's a cop-out. Tax the people that's already successful to give it to the people that's not. I never heard of that. Take the money from the rich so we can supply funds for the poor. Robin Hood, right? We want the poor to go to school. We want the poor to have better drinking water. We want the poor to, even though that shit not going to happen, right? But you can still do all of that without taxing the rich. You don't think like we just pulled $60 billion out our ass to get to Ukraine? Ain't nobody taxing no motherfucking rich to get that $60 billion, right? Why that $60 billion couldn't go to the school or go to the program that you said it could have went to, that you said you needed this Build Back Better money for or the money that the Republicans are supposed to be denying you to bring down the prices on the everyday average American, right? We just pulled $60 billion out of our ass like it wasn't nothing. $60 billion to Ukraine, take it. If you need more, get at us. Right? So we're not lacking no money. I didn't hear you say, well, I need the billionaires to pay for this motherfucking war. I didn't hear you say, we finna tax the rich and make them pay taxes to pay for this motherfucking Ukrainian war. So we won't take it out on the everyday average American at the food and at the gas station. We're going to tax the rich and make you motherfuckers pay this $60 billion. I'm pretty sure George Soros Bezos, Gates, Elon Musk. We don't take Elon Musk out of it. You don't need Elon Musk money, right? Warren Buffett, I'm pretty sure all of them could have pieced up and put $60 billion together and it wouldn't hurt them none. They could have funded the war by the motherfucking self. Mark Zuckerberg, the Apple nigga, I mean, all of them could have put in that and it wouldn't hurt them none. You didn't even have to tax the everybody making over 400,000 then. Over $1 million. You could have got at them. Hey man, loan us all the motherfuckers work for BlackRock. BlackRock could have funded the war. Huh? One of these motherfucking financial groups could have financed the war. $60 billion ain't nothing to them. They got it. All you motherfuckers give up $5 billion apiece so we can fund this war so we don't have to take it out. I mean, if you want to tax the rich, you want to tax them for being responsible for kids going to school, right? You want to tax them to be responsible for bringing down the price of prescription drugs and giving free internet. But you want to tax these motherfuckers for the war? Seems like you got your priorities fucked up.
People are working hard and in many cases are worried about whether they can get through the end of the month and make it all work.
Today, though, I want to address another challenge that families are facing, and the one I think they're most focused on right now: high gas prices.
How many of you think the tax code is fair anywhere along the line here? How many? No, I'm not being facetious now.
Nobody even clapped for him. I'm not being facetious here. No, I'm not being facetious. No, it's not a joke. I'm not being facetious here. He always saying that shit. I'm not being facetious. How many think it's a joke? How many think it's irregular? It's been this way, Joe. And the country being successful, it's been this way. Tax these motherfuckers for the war. And let us keep our money. Right? I'm pretty sure the Senate wouldn't sign that bill.
I'm being deadly earnest.
Earnest.
They don't pay a penny.
And the president and I are using every tool at our disposal to lower costs.
And the president using every tool at our disposal to lower costs. Joe Biden wants you to put a tax on assets. Right? What he wants you to do, he wants you to put extra money on your what you call the value. Like, I know I'm gonna make this much money, but I'm gonna pay this much money up front more in taxes because this is what I think I'm gonna earn. Right? He don't know. These rich people can't pay money on assets. They got assets. They don't have money. They got assets. Shit they can sell. Shit they can get off. They don't have $200 billion sitting in a damn bank. Huh? Elon Musk ain't got $200 billion sitting in a damn bank. He got assets. And if he loses assets, his assets lose money, he loses money. If stock goes down, right, on Tesla, and stock goes down on SpaceX, right, Elon Musk is no longer at the financial height he was at because his stock is going down. I mean, his assets is going down. That means he got to sell more shares. He got to do certain things, but that means he's not going to be the same millionaire or billionaire he was last year or the year before, and vice versa. If his stocks go up, he make more money. He gain more assets. It's all about assets. You can't tax assets.
We are fighting every day to keep our country on the path towards stable, steady growth.
I'm wondering whether...
Right? And this is a Democrat, right? And I'm not saying I agree with his plan, right? But it kind of makes sense in a certain way what this Democrat on here is saying about gas prices, right? And gas production, right? It makes sense in some kind of way.
You've had any type of evolution in your thinking on this issue, given where we are right now. And you know what I'm referencing back in October of last year, when you were talking to some of these CEOs and praising BP and Shell, the CEOs, for reducing their oil production over in Europe, and saying, are you at this point embarrassed as an American company, to Chevron CEO, are you embarrassed that your production is going up while the European counterparts are going down? Don't you want our companies, our domestic companies, to increase production at this point? That was clearly not the right action to be asking these CEOs to do back in October. It wasn't.
Inflation is up.
Inflation is up, right? Well, how you going to bring it down, Joe Biden? How you going to bring it down with oil, right? Remember, the Democrats was begging oil companies to stop oil production, right? And they lost money. Remember, the oil company lost millions and billions of dollars last year when they was forced to shut down oil refineries and they had to stop pumping oil, right? They lost money. So right now you have to gain money, right? If you want to even make a 0% profit, if you lost money, right, by oil selling for under, if you want to break even, you got to oversell for a little bit, but even make that money back. That's in any business, because if you sell and you even break even, you still losing. You're not making a profit. You have to oversell, right? If you had zero and you lost $20, you don't just want to gain $20 back because you be back at zero. You need to gain $40 back so you can have a profit, or at least 30. Right? You cannot make the same. So when these companies lost all these millions and billions of dollars, guess what? They got to get millions and billions of dollars to make up the loss that they took to get back at zero, or even to make a profit. So when you tell these oil companies, oh, good job in stopping oil because we finna go to green energy and shit like that, and then when we need them, you're like, oh, fuck, we shouldn't have told you that.
It's up.
Joe, it's a fair question. I think we have to distinguish between the long term and the short term. Of course, we need short term production to go up. What I was talking about in that clip, and if people see the whole testimony, is how do we diversify our energy sources over the long run so that we're getting 1%, 2% going more into renewable energy. But
now this sounds a little better as a plan for Joe Biden, right? Getting a percentage of oil. You should have been done this. Getting a percentage of oil and giving it to energy, right? But they're not doing that.
Short term, there's no doubt that we need our production to go up. I have advocated that explicitly. And one of the ways we can do it is to have an export ban.
Do that sound? Remember, we pump all this oil and gas and energy, but we export a lot of it, right? We export and we sell a lot of it. So if we put an export ban, this is the Democrat talking, right? If we put an export ban on the gas, right, and sell our own gas to our own people, the supply chain and all the money and inflation will go down. It makes sense. We will have to cut a lot of countries out, but it makes sense, right? And the United States is supposedly worried about other countries, right? Gas bills and energy bills and stuff like that going up, right? While ours steady going up, right? So you're going to have to do something, right? I mean, and somebody's going to have to suffer. Either we're going to suffer or they're going to suffer. And you, the president of the United States, you got to pick and choose who's going to suffer.
We want more families in America to be able to afford an electric car.
She wants more families in America to afford electric cars. Well, if they're paying $6, $7, and $8 a gallon, if the food is going up 10%, 20%, 30% a month, if energy is going up 30%, 40%, 50% a month, right? If the everyday price of living is getting harder, how is these people going to even save enough to even try to buy an electric vehicle, right? I mean, it's not like they're saving money on gas and saving money on food and shit like that, and they got extra money in their pocket where they can put into their savings and try to save up for an electric vehicle. All that extra money, $5,000 and $6,000 extra a year, is going on food and gas alone. That's not covering everyday expenses like rent and utility bills and shit like that. We're just talking about food and gas.
That is made in America.
Here's what I want to understand. Why are we sending more oil to other countries when we have a problem here with supply? We never used to do that before 2015. We could have that ban now, and it would dramatically lower gas prices.
That do make sense. If you start selling your own oil and put a ban on other countries, right? you would lower the gas price because we buying our own oil, so we dictate the price, right? How are we letting the global market dictate our price when we can dictate ourselves? If you pump your own oil and sell your own oil to yourself and give the extra oil to other countries or produce oil independence here, right? You can automatically lower the price of gas because you wouldn't be dependent on the global market. You wouldn't be dependent on if the well go up over here, if this person go up over there and shit like that, we're going to be short. No. You sell your own. We got enough oil to take care of our own fucking country. But we still buying oil and we are putting ourselves in the market, the global market, you know what I'm saying, for them to dictate the price. It shouldn't be going like that.
Here's the final two lines of the letter. Vladimir Putin's price hike, which...
And Joe Biden got so mad, right? He wrote a letter to the oil companies. He mad at the oil companies because he can't do his job. So he wrote them a letter, right? You better not be making no profits. You better not price gouge. We're not price gouging. This is how the market, when y'all told us to shut down oil and all this old shit, when y'all closed the pipelines and shit like that, when y'all put restrictions on leases and all that shit, this is what happens. Right? This is what happened. We can't do our job. Now you want to write us a letter talking about do our job and stop making money?
Putin's price hike, which price hike are both capitalized. I'm not sure why, but Vladimir Putin's price hike, all caps, are driving up costs for consumers.
We could have that ban right now, but it would really put the screws to our friends and allies in Europe who are dealing with some big problems caused by Vladimir Putin in Russia, and I don't think we want to do that. And Ro, I think the honest answer to the honest question on some of these things too are you want short-term production, not long-term. And I think we want refineries to be able to pump out more gasoline right now because that's part of the problem. We don't have the refinery capacity. But those are not investments that businesses are going to make if we are telling them this is for the short term. We want them to spend billions of dollars to make additional investments that, by the way, we don't want those investments to continue producing a decade from now. It just...
Y'all know. They don't want oil and gas to be producing a decade from now. So they added Trap 22. We want to give you some contract, but we don't want to make them long term. We want them to be short term, right? Because we want to put investments into reusable energies, right? Renewable energies, right? So we don't want to give you no long term leases and nothing like that. We're gonna do this shit short term. Who in the hell gonna invest in that?
Doesn't make financial sense. There are consequences when you say you don't want things over the long haul. Businesses stop spending capex, and that's what the oil companies have done. It's a little disingenuous to say we want you to produce short term, but then we're going to take away your ability to make money off those investments, those major investments we've asked you to make.
Yeah, So if we had a minimum tax of 15%, minimum 15, it doesn't hurt them at all. They make a lot of money still, and we can raise a lot of money to make sure that child care doesn't cost you $1,400 a month.
$1,400 a month? Damn, that's a lot of fucking $1,400. Who in the fuck pay $1,400 a month for child care? Who in the hell pay $1,400 a month? That's $1,400. You might as well get your niece or your nephew and pay them a couple of $100 a month. Who in the hell pays it? It's a program out here called Chrysalis. Right? You find somebody, they give you a check to find somebody you feel comfortable with babysitting your kids, right? Chrysalis Stairs, right? And they give them a check. And it's not $1,400 a month. It's about $7 to $6. And sometimes the motherfuckers keep their own kid and they split it. It's called fraud. Cheat the system. But they do it. They keep their own money. Right? But I don't understand how you don't find too many, like, people who on WIC and people on welfare, they don't pay for child care. The system pays for it. So Joe Biden, most of the people on child care, the system is paying for it. So Joe Biden like, well, we want you to pay us to pay the system. Think about this. But this dude got something, right? He finna tell you about that ban on oil and why it will work. And I think it would too.
Well, Becky, I think that's not what the position of the party is. The position is that we want to diversify. Look, if the oil companies had been honest about global warming and had diversified since the 1970s, we would have had much more stable prices. I don't see there any problem to say 1%, 2% of your long-term investments should be in renewables and diversification. And the export ban would work for two reasons. Here's what the oil companies they say. They say we make light shale oil right now here. We don't produce the crude oil. Most of our refineries are for crude oil, but you could have a one-to-one exchange of the light oil to crude oil, and you could have an exception for some of our European allies. I agree with you there.
I appreciate your immediate.
But Joe Biden don't. Joe Biden, like, fuck the oil companies, right? I want to fight the oil companies. Dude got a little plan, say, maybe we can, produce one in one, right? We can sell one and keep one, right? But we got to have America, get the oil first. Why are we giving other countries oil first, and then we buy oil from other countries and letting them dictate the price? We can dictate our own price and sell it to all other countries at our own price. We don't need their oil. We can cut that shit short. So we ain't selling none of you motherfuckers oil. But Joe Biden's like, fuck that. We want at the oil refineries.
Immediate attention to this issue in your efforts to mitigate the economic challenges that Vladimir Putin's actions have created for American families.
But why are we sending the oil to China?
Right? Now, you don't mean to tell me we can't put a ban on sending oil to China? I mean, China probably put a ban on us, and we probably can't do that. China owns some shit, right? China like, you know what? Y'all put a ban on us, right? But China get their oil from Russia. Right, so while we selling and China getting their oil, right? China oil is not as high as ours. They get gas not as high as ours, and they got 6 billion people over there. They got a lot of cars. Why China gas is not high as ours, and we selling them gas, and Russia's selling them gas? Russia's selling them gas on the low. We selling them gas on the low, huh? China got gas. Why is we sending them gas?
Why are we sending oil to other countries? We are a oil surplus country, and yet we are totally dependent on the global price. That doesn't have to be the case.
Well, first of all, it's real, and it's rough.
This is critical to me.
It's one of the highest priorities, actually, for the president and for me. And so we're dealing with this issue in a number of ways.
I know this is hard, and that Americans are already hurting. I will do everything in my power to limit the pain the American people are feeling at the gas pump.
Well, let's start with this.
Well, let's start with this. Word salad, brain fart, right? They want you to know they feel the pain. I feel your pain at the pump. They're not going to do shit about it. They always got a plan, but never come through with one.
Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more.
Now, that's a reality right there, right? And they're dealing with a reality that gas costs more and bread costs more. Next question. What the fuck? That's all you got to say? You thought you mean to think, you mean to tell me you had all that time to think of a question or answer, right? And that's what you come up with? Gas costs more and bread costs more.
I want every American to know that I'm taking inflation very seriously, and it's my top domestic priority.
But have you seen what's happened to natural gas prices since Tuesday? Congressman, since Tuesday, natural gas prices in Europe have gone up 50%. That's because of two things. One, the export facility in Texas that caught on fire, meaning we're not going to be shipping them any more LNG for
caught on fire. This caught on fire. The Texas plant just happened to catch on fire.
Months. The second is that the Russians have really put the screws to them and said, we can't ship them. They're claiming that there's some equipment that's gone wrong, but you know what's really happening here. 50% higher in Europe in 4 days. I mean, these are the people we're supposed to help fight Vladimir Putin right now, and this is what's happened to them.
Damn, their energy went up 50% in 4 days? That's a damn shame. I mean, something got to give, though. Either they going to go up or we going to go up. Something got to give, right? Joe Biden talking about a plan. I mean, somebody got to take a loss. Either this dude like, well, maybe Europe got to take a loss. Joe Biden like, fuck that.
The president and I are doing everything in our power to lower the cost of the things that matter most for American families.
Sure, and I'm for supplying to our allies and some of our European allies. I'm not for supplying to China and to the rest of the world while Americans are paying $6 at the pump. The other thing I said that the government could do is to have bought preemptively when the price of oil was low. I called for that when the price was in the low hundreds, and then sell back to the American public at a subsidized price. Every president has done that. Many of them have done that in the past. President Reagan did it.
Not Joe Biden. Joe Biden ain't bought oil at a cheap price and thought about the future, right? Think about that. Joe Biden ain't never planned for the future. You see the oil is going up. Buy the oil now. Donald Trump would have bought the oil now. That's what he done when he filled the reserves. He bought the oil at a cheap price and filled the reserves. The same oil Joe Biden talking about right now is saving the country. Well, I'm releasing 240 barrels of oil out of the strategic reserve. I'm releasing 1 million a day. Them is Donald Trump barrels, fool. Them ain't your barrels. Them is Donald Trump barrels. The barrels Donald Trump bought at a low price is the barrels you claim that you're releasing to save and lower the prices on the American family. The same way, I released 30 barrels, I released this, I released that. You released the barrels that Donald Trump filled. If them barrels wasn't up in there and Donald Trump wasn't refilled that motherfucker, what would have happened then? What would you be using now? Our shit will be empty. Our shit is emptying now. We damn near we got to buy it back. If it's 100 days, we got 100 million barrels missing out the petroleum reserve. That ain't going to come back no time soon. Because you didn't think ahead, Joe.
With dairy prices, FDR did it. So there are tools we can take. But here's my view. My view is, of course, right now we need to focus on lowering price and increasing the oil supply. But long term, what's really going to bring price stability is more of the diversification of our energy sources.
And that includes more different types of energy, probably including nuclear, right? But Joe Biden's so damn scared to do any damn thing, right? That's why the price is going high. Then you want to blame Vladimir Putin.
We also know that as our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases.
David, it seemed to me, apply a fairly basic economic model to the magnitude of the demand stimulus, and it seemed to me it predicted that we'd get certainly a significant rise in inflation. And then there were some other things that came along on the supply side that I didn't foresee, that others didn't foresee, that made it even worse than I had expected.
Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation.
Do you have a timeline for gas prices of when you think they may start coming down?
My guess is you'll start to see gas prices come down as we get by and going into the into next year, 2022.
Going into next year, it is June. It is June. And Joe Biden hasn't came up with a plan to lower gas yet. He was talking about it was supposed to be lower coming into the year. It only got higher. Them of Vladimir Putin price hike and all those stuff, gas was going up before the Vladimir Putin price hike. Before Vladimir Putin came in, you was explaining how gas was going up and it wasn't going to come down probably at the beginning of January, beginning of 2022, right? So even before Vladimir Putin had a price hike, you still didn't know when the price of gas was going down. So you can't blame it on Vladimir Putin. When the words coming out of your mouth, you didn't even know before Vladimir Putin attacked when gas gonna come down. You had no idea when gas was gonna come down. Now all of a sudden it's because of Vladimir Putin. Before Vladimir Putin stepped a foot in Russia, you didn't know when gas was gonna go down.
But that's not our view.
But the thing is, he's got to get the message across. The economy's not that bad. I mean, I understand inflation. You see the gas prices go up. It's obvious.
I don't see anything that's going to happen in the meantime that's going to significantly reduce gas prices.
Huh? That's way before Vladimir Putin. I don't see anything that's going to happen in the future that's going to reduce gas prices. If they don't reduce, they only can raise. This was before Vladimir Putin. Now Vladimir Putin is in, since he's in Ukraine, Joe Biden got something to blame it on. Oh, it's Vladimir Putin price hike. But before Vladimir Putin, you still didn't have a plan. It was transitory.
Well, I would first say that one of the steps that we've taken as an administration is to provide a range of assistance to the American people, whether it is in the form of $1,400 checks.
Where'd the money go?
The $1,400 check. Where'd the money go? Remember all that COVID money and all that? Where'd the money go? All the rescue plan money to save the world and save the economy. Where did the money go, Joe? Right? Where'd all this money go?
Broward County recently broke ground on a new luxury hotel using millions of taxpayer dollars intended for COVID relief.
But the employment is at 3.6%. Unemployment's historic low unemployment. He's got to sell the good stuff and make America feel good about him.
Can't do that.
Make America feel good about themselves. Joe Biden got to sell the good stuff, right? Is this the good stuff on what they spent the money on, the rescue plan money on?
Democrats use COVID relief funds to bankroll their pet projects. $140 million to build a hotel. Millions in payments to convicted criminals and terrorists. Millions for taxpayer-funded advertising campaigns in D.C.
Look at Joe Biden sitting up there like Bart Simpson, huh? They used the rescue plan money, all right. Illegal immigrants got checks. Prisoners got checks, right? All them government-funded commercials they funded. That's where the rescue plan money went. We rescue money. We sending people checks and shit like that. They use that as a front. Look, we doing this while they doing that over here.
It told us at a town hall, I think it was in July, that
look at that fool.
Just near-term inflation.
And now, Biden wants to spend more. Higher prices, wasteful spending, and no accountability.
Or maybe there's a Death Star pumping false information into our brains.
Fox, right? A Death Star. You see how they set that up? Fox News. Fox, right? Pumping false information. Right? Joe Biden mad. I mean, CNN is asking questions now. They're turning on Joe. Everybody, MSNBC, everybody turning on Joe. Now it's Fox News. No, it's everybody now, Joe. The cat is out the bag.
Right. Democrats are hurting hardworking Americans.
Anyway, thank you, guys.
Should Americans be worried about inflation, sir?
Hell no, Americans should be worried about inflation. They should be worried about a recession. Inflation is over with, right? They say we're already in a recession, right? But we're going to look back on it and say, okay, this was a recession because it got to add up. The numbers got to add up. 2 quarters back to back or whatever. We're going to be heading on that second quarter in a minute. Then you can say it's a recession because you got to have a time limit in order for it to be a recession, right? You can't call it a recession on the first day. You got to look back on it and say, okay, this period of time was a recession from this time to this time. The recession started at this month. Right, it's going to be a period of time. They're going to say, okay, now we're in a recession because this number and this number added up. So this is the first day of a recession. Right? So you're going to know when it's going to happen. You're going to know when it's going to happen, and it's going to happen when they say it is, because that's what the Democrats want to happen. Well, I'm going to end this show now, but if you like this show, you got to remember to donate. We got to keep this show from becoming into a recession. We don't want this show to drop into a recession. We want this show to last. We want this show to be prosperous. We want the information to keep coming out. This channel cannot go into recession. There's too much information out there, and there's too much things that need to be talked about, and there's too many things need to be exposed for this channel to go into recession. Because if I go into recession, then it's going to be fucked up in November. Then November coming, and I ain't going to be able to get out the videos that I need to get out. So this channel cannot go into recession. We cannot let this Joe Biden and the Democrats fuck over this channel right here. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to send a Cash App or PayPal, if you couldn't, you know what I'm saying, or you want to send it through the donation mail, you can do all that through the P.O. Box. I will leave the link below. You know what I'm saying? This channel run on donations. And thank you for people who donated. Slaphead, Randy K. Good looking out, Buffalo Soldier on the donation. I'll see y'all in a minute, tomorrow. And don't forget to donate to your favorite comedian. I'm out.